Welcome to another edition of the Polto Show. This is the show to educate you right there in your household. And today we have not only a special show, we have a great show. The guest today is yours truly, Pearl Polto. Yeah, you heard me. Yours truly. And this is going to be a special show for you, everybody out there. You know, in all my years of doing credit, let me introduce who I am first so everybody out there can see it. I'm a credit expert, which we'll go into. I'm a paralegal. I became a paralegal not to study law, but I wanted to see what the attorneys knew about credit. Nothing, zero. And the reason why is they only know bankruptcy laws when they study law. And I'm also, there's a lot of things I do when it comes to helping the consumers. And I work 24/7. Why? Because every year my goal is to have everybody out there to have as much good credit as possible. And the reason why I'm saying this show is going to be a little bit special. You're going to get a lot of discounts on this show because the guest is me. But I'm going to give you a word. And the reason why I'm going to give you a word, I want you to write it down or pass the word around. You have to watch the whole thing in order to get the discount or free. And that word, write it down, is the red cardinal. Remember the word, the red cardinal. So you could tell your friends they have to watch the whole show and they will get either their discount, and even though the show is going to be on and it'll be taped, they can still get the discount on what I have to offer. We're going to do, the first thing we're going to do, and the first topic I'm going to do, which I was going to do it at the end, but I got calls on it, and I'm going to do it at the beginning. And this is going to be the first topic. And the reason why I'm going to have it the first topic is because many of you out there are getting ripped off. You know, 30 years ago when I started, I wrote my first book, In America is Bad Credit a Prison Term. No publisher even wanted it. They didn't understand it. They didn't understand it because they didn't know there was credit problems out there. And then later on, as it happened, then I got calls from publishers. I was on all the talk shows. And then they realized that credit was a problem. But the people didn't realize it. And when they did realize it, many companies, attorneys, professionals, they thought they knew it all. If it took me 30 years to understand everything there is to know about credit, I even sued a credit bureau. Who I sued was TransUnion. And I sued them because they were making false things on a credit report. And I wasn't suing for money. I was suing for them to change a credit report, and they did. And when I started, there were 6 major credit bureaus out there. We're down to 3 now. We're down to 3 because of me. People didn't know that. I wasn't bragging on all the shows I was on. I was out to educate the people. Where I was aggravated, and I still am very aggravated, because I was the only one. And when you're the only one at something, and then years go by, and then everybody sees it's a plus, what do? Oh, they take a portion of the thing of it. And what they did is, my first topic is the word credit repair. And I was told to call from a client of mine. They said, Pearl, I should put that the first topic because people are getting ripped off. Now, how are they getting ripped off? I charge a fee. Naturally, I charge a fee. And my fee is not that high, and today you're going to get it at a special one. But many people out there, many people, professional peoples and everything else, were going into the, quote, credit repair company. You'll see it all over, TV even, ads, all over the place. They would say, and you would love it, because it would say $100 a month, $150 a month, and they wouldn't start you to 12 months later. So you paid all this money and there was no refunds, and they didn't even know what they were doing, so you really didn't have a credit. You still had bad credit after 12 months because they didn't start you. If you don't get a credit report every 30 days, there's something wrong. And all these credit repair companies were going into the business, and they were only in the business for 1 or 2 years. After 2 years, they would get out of the business. They made their money. And it's pretty sad. Pretty sad, because the victim of it all was you, because you didn't do your homework. This is why the first topic I'm giving you is credit repair. If you have a credit problem, I'm going to give the last one first for reasons. and then I'll go into all the other topics. The reason why I'm saying the last one first, because credit, anyone that becomes a client, like you see on the screen, the Credit Lifeline Information Kit, that's the one that was sold on QVC. Every one of you that listen to this whole show and have a credit problem, please do not procrastinate. If you're trying to get a mortgage, please do not procrastinate. Mortgage companies, stream mortgage companies went out of business because people were procrastinating. They said, I can't, I'll get my credit done later. No, get it done now. It's important to you. I say there's two important things in this world, credit and health. And they're both essential to you. You need good credit and you need good health. And the good credit you need, because it's not like years ago. It's not like years ago where if you had one or two or three things, you would say, well, it's going to come off in 4 years. Something's going to come off in a year. No, it's not working that way. Not now. We're in a different world. If somebody says, well, I only have to wait a year and a half, I only have to wait 6 months, I only have to wait 3 months, and then all of it will be cleared. No, I was told to say this at the beginning of the show. It doesn't work this way. You can have bad credit for a lifetime. The credit bureaus are not going to remove things because they feel it's 7 years statute or 30-day statute or whatever. It's up to the person knowing the knowledge. I've had on my shows congressmen, senators. They didn't even know about credit. They didn't even know about credit, which was surprised me, which only made me want to learn more to educate you. My fee, I'm going to tell you at the end my fee. You're going to be shocked because this is going to be a special. And I'm going to tell you what you get with the fee, with me doing your credit. Can credit be corrected? Of course it can be corrected. You don't have to stay on for 7 years, 30 days. It could be corrected. It's all in the disputing of the credit bureaus. And when you dispute with the credit bureaus, yes, you have to be persistent. You just can't sit back, or I'm not going to be like the people that are charging you $150 a month and then start you in 12 months to say, well, I made my $1,200, now I'll get out of the business. Or you're not going to get nothing. When somebody disputes your report, like me, an example, here's what to expect. Every 30 days, that's the law, that's the credit laws, every 30 days you will be getting an updated copy of the credit report. Every 30 days, and that's what I tell my clients to mail to me. And if you don't get it, that's when you call me. You call me, you pick up the phone, you say, Pearl, it's 35 days, I still haven't received a copy of a credit report. And that quick, I send another one out. And I send a nasty one out because the credit bureaus also have to follow the laws. They break one law, that was my lawsuit. They can't break two. So when you don't get a report, but I don't want the clients to say, oh, it's been, I think, 4 months, I'm not sure. You know, your credit's not important to you then. Then why is your health? Why do you go to doctors then? Credit and health are two important things in this country. You have to listen. You have to follow instructions. If your doctor said to you, you have a really bad infection cold, I'm going to give you an antibiotic, take it. And here's how you're going to take it. Are you going to say, well, I'll take it when I want to take it? No, you're not, because you're going to listen to him. He's the expert in the field. Well, the same with credit. I'm the expert in this field, and when I say, and you say, Pearl yells, screams, she says it like it is, I do say it like it is. I'm going to be like your doctor. When I say this is what to be expected, but I'm trying to teach you some of the credit laws that are out there and what I have to go by. And I'm not going to go by if you're going to wait 4, 5, 6 months to say, oh, Pearl, it's been 6 months, I haven't heard nothing. If you received my package, here's what happens. I send you out my package. It's all about me, what I do. It's all about the Federal Trade Commission. It's all about the laws. It's everything. But there's instructions there that you have to follow. And those instructions are, when you get a report, mail it. When you don't get a report, call me. It's that simple until I mail you the last letter that says congratulations. Now, what happens when you get a copy of your credit report? You send it to me. I review it and I see what's left on it. What is left? It could be everything is all done, or if I see 1 or 2 things left on it, I write back to you and I'm saying this is what's left. There was 5 removed. So I'm letting you know every little detail that's going on that you don't even have to think. Because why? You didn't go to school for credit. Until I mail you the last letter. The last letter will say congratulations. And then I'll tell you to apply. I told you, people are calling already. People are calling already. And I'm telling you, Didn't turn my phone off. See, even I make mistakes when it comes to that with it. But anyway, this is interesting. When it comes to credit, but that's the credit repair. So if you have a credit problem, and I'm going to give you the offers at the end. The offers at the end you're going to love. You love my price and what you're going to get, but you're not going to hear this at the end, so you're going to have to watch the whole show. Okay? The first topic that I'm going to be talking about is, everybody knows, bill collectors. Bill collectors. Now, if you're getting harassed by a bill collector, who are these bill collectors? And what do? They get hired. I think sometimes I wonder, they'd all be out of business if it was for me, but I can't put them out of business. And the reason why, they say, Pearl, you're so important. Why can't you put them out of business? You know why? Because you're paying them. You're still paying them. I put many out of business, but if you're still paying a bill collector, on my Facebook and on YouTube, there's a bill collector that I had on my show as a guest. Wow, what a nasty, she called herself the Beast. What a nasty bill collector. And she kept on saying, but she said she made a mistake at the end. She said, Pearl, if they paid you, if they listened to you, we wouldn't be in business. And I thought, oh my God, she said it. She said the magic words. If you listen to me, she'd be out of business. But bill collectors, what are they and who are they? Like, I have letters here that clients give me. They mail to me all the time, bill collector letters. Now, what do I do with these bill collector letters? One, I see if there's any violations in them. And if there's a violation in them, that goes right to our consumer protection attorney, Carrie Flitter. You hear he was on my show already as a guest. Well, you know, what he does, he looks over. There's any violations, you have a free lawsuit case. Now, let me tell you which was, I just sent copies of letters out to all my clients. One of my clients called and they said, Pearl, you cleared my credit, but guess what? I didn't pay 2 months back on my car, and they took my car. They repossessed my car. And I'm listening to him. And he said, yeah, it was on my driveway. They came up on my driveway. Bingo. Bingo. What they did was they went up to his property, his driveway. And I said, put this in writing to me. ASAP. He did. He got a check for $130,000. You heard me, $130,000. I said to him, can you do me a favor? Can you make a copy of this check and send it to me so I can send it to all my clients when they first become clients, so I could show them when somebody breaks the law, they have to be held liable, and you're the one that gets paid for it. There's $1,000 per violation of all bill collectors, $1,000. But if they take your car from your lot, so I tell my clients, make sure you park your car on your lot. He got paid $130,000. He's in his glory. He's in his glory when it comes to bill collectors. What are they not allowed to do? They can't harass you. They can't call you up all hours of the night. And if you tell them to stop, what I say to them is, don't even answer your phone. Put it in writing. Put it in writing. But if you're my client, I do put it in writing. I always tell you, mail me copies of all the credit reports. Mail me copies of all the bill collector letters that you receive. And if they're harassing you, I do write them a cease communication letter. A cease communication. If they call you again, if they harass you again, you have a free lawsuit case. They're not allowed to do this, but that's Carrie's possession too, besides my knowledge coming to you. So bill collectors, as I said, I get a lot of them. I get a lot of them every day from my clients, and I love it because it's free money for you as I'm cleaning up your credit. If you owe, let's say you owe a creditor. And they'll say, here's what my clients will call me to say, I'm 4 months back on it. Do I pay them? Well, who are you getting the 4 months back on? Are you getting it from your creditor? Or are you getting it from the bill collector? You would know. And if it's for the bill collector, nuh-uh, you're not going to pay them. You're paying the wrong people. You are paying. If you're paying a bill collector, you are paying the wrong people. If you're 1 month back and you say, well, I owe this creditor, and I'll tell you to pay it. I will tell you to pay it. And then there'll be a lateness on it, but I will dispute it to have it deleted. But if it's a bill collector, I would say, don't you dare, because you're wasting your money. And then I joke to the people, say, you want to pay a bill collector? Mail it to me instead. Mail me the money instead, and I'll have it removed from your credit report. So it's all knowledge. It's not that you went to school for credit. I did. I learned from it for 30 years under the Fair Credit Reporting Act. I have studied over and over every law that's out there. I had to, because I had to know what the attorneys knew about credit and what they didn't know about credit. Zero. All they knew was what to charge the people. And that's pretty sad. So then I see companies, clients will call me and say, I just paid somebody $150 a month, Pearl, and they didn't do nothing. And you know what? It doesn't surprise me, but it shouldn't surprise you, because I don't know how many shows I have to be on, CNN, Fox News, all over the world, for you to say, hey, well, and I charge a fee, but I don't charge it that high of a fee. Now, at the end of the show, as I said, I'm going to be giving you offers that you're going to not refuse. And if you do refuse, then it's on you. The joke is on you with it. So that's bill collectors. You know, what does a charge off? When you have a creditor, you have a credit, and you don't pay it for 6 months. You don't pay it for 4 months. You didn't pay it. What happens? Okay, naturally it goes to a bill collector. But what happens on a credit report? It's on the word charge off, profit and loss. It will say charge off, profit and loss. What does it mean? What does charge off mean? What does profit and loss mean? It's exactly what it says. Charge off means the creditor got your account, they took a tax write-off, and to make it easy so you understand, I'm the creditor, right? You owe Pearl Polto $10,000. You didn't pay me. Well, I want to get paid because I'm the creditor. So I go to my accounting and I say to him, Mary, Sue, anybody can't pay me. What do I do? And he says, Pearl, take it as a write-off. Take it as a write-off of your income taxes. And I do. Well, when I take it as a write-off, it's called charge-off. Now, you can't pay me. If you called me up and said, I want to pay you now, I'm going to say, I'm sorry, you can't pay me now. I've already taken a tax write-off. And then I don't want you to pay the bill collector either. So what you have to do is now you have to clean up your credit, because you don't owe me no more. Even though, you know, if I was a bill collector, I would say, pay me, give me the money. But I'm not. I'm a consumer advocate for credit rights, and I'm going to educate you. So since I got the money being your creditor, you don't owe me 1 penny. And that's what charge-off means, or profit and loss. Now, the other thing I hear from my clients is, what's the statute of limitations? I only have to wait 2 months and everything will be off. Wrong. Yes, under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, there are statutes. There's a 30-day statute. Yeah, you heard me, a 30-day statute, not a 7-year. There's a 7-year statute. Unless you say, well, I got 1 year and everything will be removed. Do you think credit bureaus are going to be doing this? Do you think credit bureaus are going to be removing everything because next year is going to be 7 years? I don't think so. And then you say, wow, wait a minute, 7 years and I still have all these companies on this. I got companies called Portfolio, Midland, all bill collection companies. What they're doing, they shouldn't be doing. But you're taking their word for it. And the reason why you're taking their word, you think the credit bureaus, the banks, creditors know what they're talking about. If they know what they were talking about, there's a Privacy Act out there, but I wouldn't have them as clients. So it's not that there's a Privacy Act out there, and there is a Privacy Act out there. They can't tell you, I can't tell you, but I can educate you at the same time. And I'm going to educate you what I should have done maybe years ago for you to understand when it comes to the statute of limitations. So the statute of limitations, minimum is 30 days. Minimum is 30 days. Can accounts be removed? Of course. I got clients as far as California that says, Pearl, you're a miracle worker. I'm not a miracle worker. I just know every credit law that's out there. And yet I'm not going to overcharge you either. You know, then you go to the internet, you go to your computer and you say, well, I got this from the computer. Oh, wow, you got this from the internet, you got this from the computer, what to do, what not to do. How did they find out? How did they know all the credit laws? What did they do? You see your commercials on television by saying, hey, if you take this plan, your credit score is going to go up real high in 5 days. Wrong. I hope you're not paying these people. Because if you're paying these people, you know what? And you tell me, once you become a client, I'm going to say, why? Why didn't somebody tell you or refer you to me? It's not that I'm an expert in the field. I am an expert in the field. I know what to do or what not to do. And you don't do things because you read it on the internet or you read it on your computer or somebody's advertising on television by saying, get your credit score now. Get it done now, depending. Each thing on a credit report can be disputed. And let me give you an example of that. It all depends on the state you're in. I know every state what's exempt and which is not exempt. If you live in Pennsylvania, quote, exempt state. If you live in Delaware, Florida, exempt. I'll let you know what that means. If you live in Jersey, not exempt. What that means is if you owe on a credit card bill, yeah, they can go in your bank account, they can attach your wages, and I'll tell you what how not to do it and what to do to protect yourself. But you have to know every state. Does the majority of people know what the state is, that they're exempt or not? No, no. It's part of it's part of the rules. If you went to school, they don't even teach you this in school. Let me give you an example. Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is an exempt state. Now, what does the word exempt means? It means, let's suppose you didn't pay your credit card bill, you lost your job, whatever the reason is, and you didn't pay them, and they're calling you up, they're threatening you, they're saying everything in the book, they're trying to get you money out of you. And then all of a sudden, because Pennsylvania is an exempt state, they can't do nothing. They can't touch your wages, they can't go after your bank account, they can't do anything, not even your work pay. And some of my clients, they did, because the lawyers did not know the laws when it comes to credit laws. So some of my clients called me and said, Pearl, this is what they did. Don't tell me, because I will report them. But in this case, I did call. I did call the attorney up and I said, why did you take wages? Why did you take wages from her? Pennsylvania is an exempt state. And if you don't return it back in 24 hours, I will report this to the Federal Trade Commission and to the Banking Commission. Now, do your thing. And he did. He returned the money to her. But many clients out there don't know this. They didn't know this because look what they're getting away with. Just think about it. You could sit back and you say, oh my God, they took this from me. They took that from me. I didn't know this. I just got it off the internet, what they're allowed to do. Now, if you did live in Jersey or states that are not exempt, in other words, there's certain things you could do. You could protect your bank account, put two people's names on it. They can't take money out of an account with two people's names on it. So there's certain things, and there's only a few times that I negotiate, and I hate it. There's only a few times. If you lived in California, I would have to negotiate and with that creditor, and it wouldn't be the creditor, it would be the bill collector. And so I make deals with them. If you owe $10,000, I say, she'll pay $1,000, but this has to be removed and deleted. And they'll take any amount of money, because it's the state that did it. But just, you don't keep money into your bank account, or you put two people's names on it. That's to protect yourself. And if you got to listen to this tape over and over again till you understand it, please do so. I do many education fields out there. I do seminars out there. You're getting a free Right Now seminar right here, but more so than a seminar when it comes to this. Next topic I'm going to go into, oh my God, I hate it. It's the word bankruptcy. How many out there, the attorney would say to you, file bankruptcy and everything's all done. You think so. You think so. Bankruptcy is a word that everybody thinks that everything goes away. No. The only thing that stays around is your debt and the bankruptcy. Now, bankruptcy is from 7 to 10 years, but it could be from a lifetime, because the credit bureaus don't remove it either. You'll see it in there 15 years from now. You'll still on there. You say, it shouldn't be on there. It should have been removed 10 years ago, but it's still on there. You don't know what to do. I'm against bankruptcy because anything, as I just said to you, you can pay a bill or not pay a bill. It can be removed in a minimum of 30 days. If you read any of my books, it's a 7-year statute, it's a 10-year statute. Bankruptcy should be avoided by everybody because it's not getting you away of the debt. And you think it is getting you away of the debt because the attorney's saying to you, well, you don't have to pay any more bills anymore. Oh, this is great for 1 month, 2 months, but what happens in the 5th month when you want to buy a house or a car? And that bankruptcy is on your report. And you can't remove it because you don't know how to. So now you're getting upset. You're really getting upset with what you're being told. Can you correct it? Bankruptcy is the only thing. I'm against bankruptcy because the only thing that cannot be removed from a credit report is the word bankruptcy. Do I dispute it? Of course I dispute it because they're for my clients. But it's the only thing under law that cannot be removed. Everything else, judgments, foreclosures, repossessions, you heard me. Everything on a credit report can be deleted. So don't listen to your TVs when it comes to certain things. Laws on credit. Everybody says, oh, I don't know any laws. I'm not an attorney. I'm not an attorney either. But I had to know the laws to protect you, the consumer. Because I know you're not studying credit laws. I know you're not studying it. Laws on credit is under the Fair Credit Reporting Act. I'll give you one law that you will be familiar with. It's called the Fair Debt Collection Act. Well, if you're getting harassed by a bill collector, that's under the Fair Debt Collection Act. I can get them, you can get them, you could sue them, and you could really put them to the works. You can put them to the town where they owe you money under the Fair Debt Collection Act. And then you can report them to the Federal Trade Commission on top of it. Do people know this law? No. They heard of it, but they don't really know what it's all about. The Fair Debt Collection Act, that's all against bill collectors. Then there's the credit bureaus. Credit bureaus, when I started, there was 6 major credit bureaus out there. 6. We're down to 3 now because of me. Because I went after all of them, and a lot of them were put out of business for that reason. We now have TransUnion. TransUnion is the company that I did sue. Why did I sue them? Because they put things on a credit report with wrong years. And they put things on there that you could have had bad credit for a long time. I disputed it, and I wanted to pro se it. Pro se it means I was my own attorney. I was my own attorney because I knew more than I knew the attorney was for the credit bureau, and he didn't. So I educated, and I put jury trial demanded, and I did that for a reason. I wanted the jury to understand credit as I'm telling you. I wanted them to understand it. And it was funny, because the attorney for the credit bureau, his first statement was to the jurors, I can't even follow her. And I knew he couldn't, because he didn't know in the laws that I knew. And he was an attorney for the credit bureaus with it. Well, I did win, and they did have to change the credit report. TransUnion right now, to me, is the only one that's doing things up to par. But they do make mistakes. They all make mistakes. They're hired people, just like you and I, employees. Then there is TRW, CBA. They're all the same now. Every one that you hear me saying, they're one and the same. Now, why are they one and the same? Why did they change names? Because they broke laws. They broke laws because it was CBA, an example. Some of them remember that, CBA, Credit Bureau Associates. They broke some laws. They broke some laws under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, so they had to either go out of business or change. They went out of business. So a company called TRW bought it out. Oh, wow. Well, they thought they were the big guys now. TRW, we're the big guys, and we know all about credit. They didn't. They broke laws too. They got reported, and they had to close shop. So who bought them out was a company called Experian. Experian. Now, we all know that now because that's on the list, Experian. Now, Experian, they're doing commercials on television. Hello? That's not even in the Fair Credit Reporting Act, but they're doing commercials. Experian is doing commercials. Have you ever heard of a credit bureau doing commercials before? No. And they're not even really disputing. So if you see something, if you get it back, you're disputing something on your own now, and you get it back by saying, no, we verified this is accurate. Don't believe them. Don't believe them. Do it again and again. If you know you're in the right, do it again. Follow the laws. Because just because they say, we are not going to dispute this again, we already disputed it. How could they dispute it if you, instead of getting it in 30 days, you got it in 15? How did they dispute it? Who did they dispute it with? So right there is telling you some answers. Do it again and again till it is deleted, because you know more than they do. And the last one was CBI. Now that's an interesting one because CBI shouldn't even be in business. I've been trying to get them out of business for the last 3 years with Congress, the Federal Trade Commission, but no one understands it. And the reason why they don't understand it, because CBI is not only a credit bureau, it's also a collection agency. Now, come on, how could you do this and do that? How could you be a doctor and take drugs at the same time? Well, that's what they're doing. They're a credit bureau and they're a bill collector at the same time. So if you don't pay us, we're gonna keep it on your credit report. Is that right? Is it legal? No. No. Many complaints are going in, so you have to know your rights and know what to do. What can I do? Well, who do you report it to? You say to yourself, who do I report it to? Everybody, my clients from all over the country reports it to me. I'm the one that goes overboard and reports it to the Federal Trade Commission, the Banking Commission. I go overboard because I know every law that's out there, and some of them don't. You can report something, they'll say, well, we'll investigate this, and they're really not investigating it. CBI should be out of business, and hopefully within so many years it will be. So there's only 3 major credit bureaus out there, and only 2 of them are really, to me, legal. Credit scores. Wow. I'm so sick of hearing about credit scores on my commercials on television. And the reason why I'm sick of it is because credit scores, how many commercials have you seen? by saying, hey, do this and your score goes up. In 2 days, your score goes up super high. Really, really. And I hope you don't have to pay them anything for your score to go up in 2 days, or your score doesn't go up that easy. The more I tell my clients, when I'm doing your credit, do not apply for credit, because as I'm cleaning up your credit and I'm raising your score, you're lowering your score because you're trying to find out what your score is. And everybody's giving you all these opportunities on television, in the mail. Want to know your credit score? Don't be curious. Don't be curious. Be more curious about your credit. I'm trying to, as a president, trying to do away with the score. And I'm trying to do away with the score because every company that you go to has a different score. And companies out there will say, well, I know the score. I know your score. How many companies out there, and you know them all, they're very familiar with, I can give you your credit score in 24 hours. No, they can't. Because they're all giving you wrong information. It's not even your score. There's one company out there, it's very familiar, I won't mention the name, but everybody's getting their advertisements. The Federal Trade Commission sent me a copy of a letter saying they're trying to put them out of business. They're telling people that they're giving their scores, and they're giving all different scores. How would you know your score? If you corrected your credit and you got not zero balances, because you don't even have to pay it. I'm going to go into that next. But if you're getting all these balances on there and your credit score is going down, it's because you're pulling up credit. You're pulling up your own credit. Don't do it. You know, it's not going to be curious. You didn't know anything about credit. Why pull your score now because somebody tells you to? Don't do it. Please, if you got to watch this 100 times, this tape of this show, don't do it, because you're hurting yourself. I tell my clients when I'm all done clearing up the credit, I'm saying, okay, now's the time. I don't know what your score is, but I'm going to say it's over 700. Now's the time, because everything that's negative is off your credit report. But don't go overboard and keep on applying over and over again, because every time you apply, it'll go down. Like when you apply for a mortgage or a car, drops 30 points. 30 points if you apply for a mortgage or a car. You didn't know that. And this is why, if you want, for 1 week, if you want shopping for 5 cars, 30, you're in bad shape. You may have good credit, but your credit score is going down, and you don't even know why. Well, now you know why when it comes to your credit score with it. I said cleaning up your credit. You know, I did that at the beginning, cleaning up your credit, because I think people should hear and why you should clean up your credit. Don't procrastinate. You know, if doctor said you're having a heart attack or you have cancer, you're not going to procrastinate to say, well, I can't afford it right now because if I die tomorrow, I die tomorrow. You're not going to say that to your doctor. Well, credit's the same thing. Your credit is your livelihood. It's gotten worse. You just can't have one thing that's on your credit report that you think it's going to pass you by when you say to somebody, well, I don't know what's on my credit. But you do. You do. I'm sure you check it out, look it up, and then you say, well, I have one thing left. That's not important. Yes, it is important. I don't care if it's a little minor thing. It's important. Because all the other creditors. How many credit cards should you have? I was asked this question earlier. How many credit cards should a person have? As many as you can afford. As many as you can afford. Another question was asked to me, do I pay it in full? It'll raise my score. No, you don't have to raise your score to pay off your credit cards in full. Why would you do that when you could have money in the bank? Why would you do that? So don't pay your cards. Pay the minimum if you have to. Pay the minimum, because you still got money in your bank account. And trust me, any creditor out there will still give you a credit card. So don't pay it in full. You're only hurting yourself. But you were told this. Who were you told this? By the internet, the computer, by the banks, by the creditors? Who were you told this? You know, years ago, when I appeared on all the shows, CNN, Fox News, I appeared on all of them, and people knew. And they knew what to do, what not to do. And then I stopped because I wrote like 5 more books. And I thought, and then I do seminars across the country. I do seminars all over. And I thought all a person has to do is pick up their phone. And I do mean it. Pick up the phone. I don't like when I call somebody and a recording comes on. This comes on and that comes on. If you call me, you're going to get me. If I'm not there in the office that present, I'm going to call you back that day and answer your questions, so you have a little bit sign of relief when it comes to you. When I said to you at the end of the show what I was going to do, on QVC, there was, you see in the back of the screen, there was a credit lifeline information. There was a credit lifeline information that was sold on QVC. And it was interesting because I was taking on a lot of clients, and I thought, you know what, some of the clients that I'm taking on, they can get educated too at the same time. Well, the kit includes my credit lifeline book, which you see on your screen, and that book and is a lot of the information. Even though I wrote 6 books, then there's also CDs. There's also CDs on everything I talked about: bankruptcy, credit repair, bill collectors, credit bureaus, loss and credit, removing credit ratings, and the form letters that you need. So all this is why it was sold on QVC. The credit lifeline information that was sold on QVC for $50, and it's still on my site, www.propolto.net. That was sold on my site too. And then I wrote all these books, but I wrote another book, but I didn't put it into a book form yet. I put it into a DVD. The DVD is all the titles in the book. And I said you're going to get a special offer at the end. The end, if you say the red cardinal, here's what's going to happen. My fee is normally one for a lot of clients out there, unless you were referred, and then I give you a discount. But everyone out there, I said I'm going to say it at the end so everybody watches this. The fee for my service as of now is only $500. You heard me, $500. If you can't afford the whole $500 and you want a payment plan, well, it's going to be $250 for 3 months. Then you'll pay the $750. So right now it's $500. But if you take it on as a client, if you mail me, you call me up and you say, Pearl, send me your application. Send me the package. And I do. And on the package, it's going to say $500. But if you want a payment plan, $250 for 3 months. But if you don't pay $250 1 month, you got to start over again. But this is the freebie of it. Those of you, and as I said, I'm going to say it at the end of the shows. Those of you that wish to become my client, the credit lifeline information that you see in the background that was sold on QVC, you're going to get this for free. You're going to get this for free. Not only that you're going to get for free, but those of you, my latest book is on a DVD, not in book form yet. All you have to say is, Pearl, I heard the whole show. The key word is the red cardinal. If you say the red cardinal and say it on the application, the red cardinal, I heard it. 1, you become a client. So you would send me a check for $500, and once you say the red cardinal, I would send you my credit lifeline package that you are a client now, but you're going to get this to get free information so you understand it. And you will get a copy of my latest book, which is in DVD forms. And this is my goal for this year, for 2000. I'm going to try to get, many mortgage companies came to me and said, Pearl, people are hurting, but they're so lazy. They don't want to do nothing. 3 mortgage companies went out of business for this reason. And that disgusts me, and that gives me to a point where this never happened before in our country. Never happened before that bill collectors got away with murder. It never happened before that people were paying thousands of dollars, and I can't get the money back from a bill collector. So I'm trying to get you educated. And there's going to be a lot of things that you're going to know. Not only when you get the package, but now the system is doing worse. What it's doing is it's getting bill collectors that you never even heard of on your credit report, and you're saying, well, I don't owe this company. You may not owe the company, but it's on your report. It has to be removed. There's a lot that I said today. There's an awful lot of every field, and every field, it's deep. As I said, it took me 30 years, and it's not going to take you just reading a computer to see what's right or what you should do or listen to because you say, well, he's an attorney. He should know this. No. I have attorneys that are clients. Now, then I get aggravated. I get really angry when I have a client that's an attorney and he charges the people thousands of dollars to clean up the credit, and they don't know what they're doing. And I'm nothing against attorneys. I have family members that are attorneys. The thing is, you need to know your rights. It took me a long time to know your rights, and why I wanted to teach you now, especially now. I see what's going on in this country. I don't like it. I see what's going on in the internet. I don't like it. I see when people are telling me how much they paid for, quote, credit repair. I don't like it. I see when somebody says, well, this is what I've been paying, this is what's been charged on me, and should I pay it? It all depends. I may say, you may have to, or I'm going to say, don't do it. Don't do it. And I'm saying don't do it because I'm not going to have you pay the wrong people. I'm not going to have you go broke because you weren't educated. And it comes to much education there. If you did your homework on me, and I hope you did, you can always go to my webpage, www.pearlpolto.net, get all the testimonials, and that's only a few. I have so many testimonials out there with the bankers, with creditors, with clients from here to Hawaii that didn't know what they were doing. And some of them I felt bad for because they already paid the cost. They paid the price. They paid it to bill collectors. And they really didn't know what they were doing. Or somebody said, pay this bill in full and we'll raise your score. How could they do that? How could they do that? Oh yeah, the credit bureaus are going to say, oh, they paid this bill and they paid this credit card in full, so let's raise their score. Or the next time you turn on your TV and you see on your TV, we can raise your score. We can raise your score. Now we can raise your score. Don't believe it. And if they charge you, boy, save your money. And if they say it's free, nothing's free. It's not free. They're going to charge you somewhere down the line that somebody's going to be contacting you. And that's the sad part, because the United States is changing. We're changing to the point where a lot of people are hurting. A lot of people are hurting, not just with health-wise. Health-wise, too, it's an important issue. We'll tap into that one day. And I will tell you it's going to be happening in a few weeks when it comes to this and that. I'm sure you'll all know it. Do I have the answers to this one? This is your telephone ringing, and they're all scams out there. Well, you do know the president just signed the bill of all the credit card scams. Well, that's a new thing that I've been doing. And the reason for that is you're allowing them. You're allowing them. The only reason why the president signed the bill of all these calls, because one woman believed the call. And one woman commits suicide. They told her that she owed on her Social Security and she didn't pay it in 24 hours by Western Union. They were going to take her car, her house. She believed it. Don't believe nothing that you hear. Don't even answer your phone. Now, I'm going to tell you, when it comes to bill collectors, the one question is asked to me over and over again. What do I say to the bill collector? Say nothing, nothing, nothing. Don't say a word to them. Don't even answer your phone. And on my Facebook page, there is a show with a bill collector on it. She calls herself The Beast. Fast forward it. I didn't even want her on my show. The only reason why I had her on my show, because I hate bill collectors, because they shouldn't be in business. I had her on my show because I wanted you, the people, to know what they're really like and how nasty they are. Yes, she was nasty. Yes, she was nasty, but she made some mistakes. And I loved it. She made some mistakes. The one mistake she made is, well, if they knew what they were doing, they would listen to you. They wouldn't be paying us. I thought, bingo. She said the key words. And then when I said to her, why do you do this? Why? Because you're not getting, they get paid by you, how much you pay them. And if they're getting paid by you, she didn't like my answer to that, and that's when she walked off the stage. I didn't even want her on the stage, and I said it to her. When you watch the show, you're going to say, I don't even want you here. Don't even want you here, because I'm against all bill collectors. But the only reason why I had to be a little bit nice to her is because she offered to come on to the show. But bill collectors could be nasty. They could be nice. They have one thing in common. They all have one thing in common. They get paid by you. And they could say anything they want because of you. Just like these new phone scams that are going on. They're getting paid by you too. They're all getting paid by you. If they threaten you and saying, well, you got to change your Social Security number, you got to change this, you got to change that, don't believe it. If you have to call me 24/7, if you are a client now, but the ones that are not a client, I hear what they have to say because I see what's going on in this country. But if you have a question and you're scared, I always say, call my toll-free, 1-800-876-CREDIT, 1-800-876-CREDIT. And I don't care if it's 2 in the morning or 4 in the morning. I will answer your questions, and I will answer it all, what's right and what's wrong. But all I want you to do is pass the word around. Pass the word around. So somebody said to me, well, Pearl, we're giving you so many clients throughout the world for 30 years, and we're doing all these clients a favor. I said, except for one thing. From now on, I'm going to start giving out referral fees. And I said that to all my clients. Each client that I have, that I cleaned up, is getting referral fees from everyone that you refer. As I said, this is going to be a show that's going to be all out there. I'm going to let it all out so you know everything that's going on. One, don't listen to the internet when when somebody says they're going to charge you $150 a month to clean up your credit. Don't do it. Don't do it. I don't care what their profession is, what their title is. Don't do it. Just because they say it's cheap. Or if a credit repair company says, well, we'll only charge you $50 a month. Let me tell you, they're not going to start your case to 9 months later so they get all that 50, 50, 50, 50 added up. I start you the same day. I have an old saying to my clients, as fast as you are, I'm faster. As slow as you are, I'm slow. And it's to the point where, you will get educated by the time you're done. You will refer people, because especially when you see that some will say, you know what, Pearl, I was going to file bankruptcy. I am so glad I was referred to you. I am so glad I was going to have to hire an attorney even for this case. And they didn't have to, because my job is to educate you. I mean, I think this is my vocation in life. I think this is where God put me at, is to educate as many people as possible, because the United States is going, I said it's going under. And when I heard 3 mortgage companies went under because of people. And I asked a lot of clients, why? Why is credit not important to you? Well, my car payment was due, or this, I'm just getting money to pay this. Oh, really? Now, if you had something wrong with the doctors, would you go to your doctor, or you wouldn't care? You would still go to your doctor, wouldn't you? The answer is yes. Credit and health, 2 important things in this country. 2 important things, they go hand in hand. If you have bad health, you're going to need a doctor. If you have a credit problem, you're going to need me. And I haven't found one person, honest God, 30 years, I haven't found one person that knows as much as I do. Why? Because they don't know what to do. They don't know how to do their homework. They don't know, as I said, I sued the credit bureaus even, and I had a pro say it. No attorneys knew what to do in a courtroom. But I won. And I know all about the credit bureaus. I know about each one of them. I know about the bill collectors. I know which ones are going to go out. There's a new thing out right now, and these are 2 bill collectors. One is Portfolio and one is Midland. I will tell you, don't throw out your bills. Don't throw out because it could be money in your pocket. You got to remember, it's $1,000 per violation. I know from our consumer protection attorney, he has sued many times Midland. It's a company. It's a bill collection company. But he sued them because they harass people and they think this is how it's going to get the money. And then another company says, well, this company was sold to us. Come on. How many bill collectors are going to say it was sold to us? It's not going to be sold to us. You either have it or you don't have it. I'm going to ask you at the end, remember the keywords, the red cardinal. Say that at the end, or even say it at the beginning after you watch the whole show. Tell your friends, your family to watch the whole show, but the keyword is the red cardinal. Say it. Once you become a client, the fee is only $500, not $1,500, not $750. The fee is only $500 for you, but you have to say the red cardinal. And those of you that become a client will receive, it's in back of me, the credit lifeline that was sold on QVC. And they're going to get a CD of my latest book. This is on CD. You'll understand a lot there is to know about your credit rights. And I'm glad. I've never done a show like this. I've done seminars. I've never done this all in a seminars, because sometimes a seminar, you want to speak to the clear topics of what's going on. People wants to know about bankruptcy, credit bureaus, credit scores. Well, you know about credit scores too. Don't trust it. You see a commercial? Think of me when you see this commercial on television that says, oh, we can raise your score in 1 minute. Just call up this number. Your score is raised. Think of me. Think of Pearl Polto, the credit lady. Think of me when it comes to this. Years ago, I had 2, we'll do a show on it too eventually. I had 2 poodles. One of them, I called it Credit Doll. And she was every time a bill, and the reason why I called it credit dog is because every time I was on the phone with a bill collector yelling, she growled. So I went to a studio and I said, I want a picture of her growling on the cover of a CD. And it was the song was called Credit Dog to the Rescue. And I loved it. When I had to appear on New Jersey, when I had to appear on all the shows, she came with me. And she sat there so proud that if I yelled at a credit bureau, if I yelled at a bill collector, she would growl. And I loved it. So that was the cover of the book. Anybody that would like that, that's not for free because she's no longer with us. But this is the thing of today, the credit dog. So I went overboard so people would actually understand credit board. Today is an important day. Today is January 25th, and I know my mother made me do this show today in total. It's her birthday today, and she's up in heaven right now, and she's watching down. And she's saying, good Pearl, educate the people, educate the people. And I know that's what she loved because when I had to do my shows, she always wanted to come with me so she can get educated herself. She also used to say, I know nothing about credit, but I'm hearing these senators and congressmen on your show. They don't know anything about credit either. So it's interesting. Today is one of those days. So the 25th, it's going to be in my heart when somebody calls. And it's going to be up to you. Don't think next year or six months from now or a year from now or 2 months from now you could say, I want the discount. The answer is no. You're not going to get it because you know what? When you want something bad enough, it's going to happen. You know, I have my buddy down here. And my buddy is, you know, there's a dog here. I love animals. And as I said, one day I'm going to be doing a show on it. But you know, there is an animal here. I think you've seen it on my Facebook. I have a bone, and he probably smells it. I'm going to give him a bone. I wish you could see it in front of the camera. You can see his face, but you can't. But he's getting educated, too. Why he's getting educated? I mentioned credit dog. And he's saying he thinks he's the credit dog. Well, he could be the credit dog when it comes to, I'm looking for a new dog to have it as a credit dog with it. So, because if you see the dog, credit dog, then you'll remember your rights. So credit repair is important. Don't think anybody can do it. Bill collectors, it's important. Do not pay bill collectors. Waste of money. Bankruptcy laws, do not file bankruptcy. Laws on credit, remember the Fair Debt Collection Act. Remember the Fair Debt Collection Act. The Fair Credit Reporting Act says these are the laws on credit. And there's so many good laws on credit that you would understand. Credit bureaus, you know there's 3 of them out there. You know which ones to do. I don't like the third one. I'm trying to get the third one out of business. Credit scores. When you watch your TV and you see the commercials, think of me. They can't just raise your score because they said so. It doesn't work that way. And you heard cleaning up your credit. I did that at the beginning, credit repair. If you're serious, there's 2 things important in this country, credit and health. And if it's important to you, I will help you. I will be the doctor for you for the credit, and then go to your doctor if you need help with something else with it. I will help you and then anyone that you refer. But right now, please, I'm asking everybody out there when it comes to knowing your rights, calling me with questions. Don't say, well, I'll do it later on. I'll do it. No, do it now. Do it now. Do it now if it's important. As I said, you know, it's going to happen to all of us out there. The United States is going really crazy, as you see, between all the scams that are going out there with the phones. I'm going to do a show on that one time because there's so many scams out there with the phones. They're saying they're from the Social Security office and everything else. But when it comes to you, if you think, and the word is, I'm not even going to say if you think, you know if you have a credit problem. You know if you haven't paid a bill. You know. You don't even have to guess. Or to say, well, I looked it up on the internet, my credit score. What did you look up? Because it only cost you a score again. Every time you look something up, it lowered your score again. And I hate that. Because I'll bring you up to an 800, 900, and then you'll lower it to 400 because you made a mistake and didn't read my instructions. I'm very strict with instructions, and I always say there's 2 things to look at. 1, the instruction letter, follow it right to a T. Follow it right to a T is my instruction letter because you'll get done really faster than you think you are. Read everything. Don't just get mail and throw it in a bin because that tells me what you're doing. You get mail from anybody, you throw it in a drawer, and you forget about it and don't even know what it is. And this is why this country is going under. If we want to push it forward and go ahead, raise your hand to say, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. If you have to listen to the show again and again and again, or invite your neighbors over, watch it with them. Because I've said to you everything there is to know about credit, everything there is to know about credit laws and what to do and not to do. And the rest is going to be on you. We're heading towards the end of the show. And I think I got everything in. And what I didn't get in, if you have any other questions to ask, you can always call my toll-free number, 1-800-876-CREDIT. Here's what I want you to do, though. You call my 1-800-876-CREDIT. You don't have to put it on Facebook for people to know you have credit problems. 1-800-876-CREDIT. Just say, send me your package. Here's my name, here's my address. And if you have a question with it, you wait till you get me on the phone. But at the same time, send me the package. It goes out priority mail. You get it in 1 to 3 days. Don't just sit. Some of the clients, I mean, it's disgusting. They'll say, oh, I had it for 4 months. I'm just getting around to it. Why? Why? If you're having a heart attack, are you going to get around to seeing your doctor? No. And I just keep quiet. And sometimes I yell. And then they'll say to me, Pro, you yell. Yes, I'm going to yell. I'm not yelling. I don't even know you. But I want to get your credit done. I want to change this country. And the only way I can change this country is to make sure many of the people, 80, 90% has good credit. Has a good credit. Then I could really do what I want to do in this country, is go into all the mortgage companies to say, they did it. I'm even joining forces with mortgage companies. They have to be the best. To say this is what they have to do. Their credit's all done. Their credit's good. Give them the mortgage. Put them through. And once they hear me say put them through, they know they have good credit. So it's to the point where I think it's you or somebody else out there, or if you're watching it and you have to say I have to have my husband watch it, have your husband watch it. Both of you watch it. But if you have the bad credit and not him, there's got to be a reason why. Has to be a reason why. And if your neighbor, you don't have to be embarrassed to say, hey, I was watching this lady. No, you don't have to say you have a credit problem. Just say, you got to watch it. You'll get educated. You got more education today than in all my years and of all the professions out there when it comes to bill collectors, laws of credit, credit bureaus. You have more education today than you'll ever will learn. And you got it all. So just because you have it all and you have a credit problem, the rest is going to be on you, because I'll know. I'll know when you call me up to say, Pro, I want that free credit lifeline information, or I want that free, and then I'll know. I will know how long it took you. And if you said to me, well, I had to work up to the 500, I didn't have the 500. Well, then payment arrangements, $250 for 3 months, and it can't be any cheaper than that, because my normal fee was $1,500. So you are getting a deal and a half just to raise your credit. I'm on a mission, and let my mission be told. Again, I want to end this by wishing my mother a happy birthday, and everybody out there that has a birthday today, or anybody's doing something special, please do so. And if you do want a seminar, you want a seminar in your house, but you have one right there in your household. But if you need a seminar for your company or whatever, call me up to say, Pro, I would like to have you do a seminar. I will try to make the arrangements, and I will say more so right wherever you have to go. And you'd be surprised, because credit is the thing today, if you want to learn or not learn. I can't thank you enough. This is Pearl Polto. As always, making the most of your credit, giving credit where credit's due, and this time it's to you, the people. I'm going to close out early today because we started early. And any questions, I said, call up my toll-free number, 1-800-876-CREDIT, and that'll be the time. Thank you. And I will know. I will know who calls, whatever. And I may even call you back to say you called me. You didn't leave your name and number. I'm returning your call. We do everything. We do everything. Thank you, everybody out there. Again, the guest today was yours truly. I hope you got educated. Thank you.